Whatever might be the reasons, whatever might be the background, whatever might be the situation, can I go forward and get committed? Will I achieve? What are these factors? What are the actualities? How to understand the need? Are you in a stage to protect your family and yourself from the imminent dangers that's coming across? That recognition to that sport and to the person who has put in the effort is definitely incredible. Good morning and welcome to the first session in Unit 4, Organizational Behavior, where we are going to talk about motivation theories. Now, what is the biggest strength in life is to get motivated. Without motivation, is it possible for us to do something or to achieve? Definitely not. It's almost impossible. So motivation is actually the state of mind filled with energy and enthusiasm which drives a person to work in a certain way to achieve the desired goals. Now look at that statement itself. So fantastic. Why? Because I want to achieve something in my life. I have to be motivated. I have to be driven by energy, by enthusiasm. Somebody has to tell me that yes, you will be able to do it. Yes, you are able to achieve this thing. Yes, you are capable of doing this particular work. Then I start thinking, my mind starts getting completely engrossed with the idea that yes, I will be able to achieve it. That's where motivation comes in. I would like to emphasize upon these two words, energy and enthusiasm. Energy is a physical state. Enthusiasm is a mental state. It's a state of your mind which drives with that energy, which drives with that force and says that you will be able to achieve your target in that stipulated time. So that's where motivation comes into picture altogether. It's a force which pushes the person to work with a high level of commitment. Every organization, please understand that without that motivation, without that manager coming and telling the employee that you can do it, the employee is not going to do it. The employee will not find it as a pleasure to come back and work. He will feel that, okay, I will come to the work because of a compulsion. But if the leader, if the manager motivates and tells that yes, you can do it, you will be able to perform better and you will be able to achieve the target, you will be definitely rewarded, you are going to get some beneficiary out of it, then automatically there is a motivation, there is a push that is coming forward there. That's why motivation matters a lot. Now let's start understanding that motivation is the first level of commitment altogether. Am I committed to my work? Am I a kind of personality who believes that yes, I have to do it, come what may? Whatever might be the reasons, whatever might be the background, whatever might be the situation, can I go forward and get committed? Will I achieve what I have promised to the organization? That means I need to stay motivated. I need to be there in order to achieve it. So that's where motivation comes in. It translates into a certain kind of human behavior. Just look into the word translates. So it is able to transform you. It's able to push you from one state to the another state as far as possible. So definitely motivation is one of the biggest concepts that we are going to learn today. Now, what are those theories, factors that we have been talking about? It's very, very important to ensure that every team member in an organization is motivated. Nowadays, what happens is that due to the pandemic scenario, when the work got shifted from those high-rise buildings to that AC ventilated rooms to that of work from home, the motivation level suddenly started falling down. It drastically went down. Every employee of the organization suddenly starts feeling that, no, we are not able to work with the same pace. We are not able to derive that same energy at any given point of time. What we are feeling is completely deserted, completely demotivated altogether. I want some energy, I want some enthusiasm to come back and help me out. So what do I do? My manager, my organization, my leadership team comes back every week, every day. They come back with a motivating factor. They tell me that this is the way how you can achieve it. They push me to achieve that limits altogether, and that's what makes me to do that work even at a better level. So that's why I say that it's very, very important that every organization take some time, go understand each and every employee's problem, motivate them, tell them how they can achieve this, how they will be able to go further, and that's how the motivation will work on them and they will be able to achieve better levels. Next one, various psychologists have studied about the human behavior and have formalized their findings in the form of various motivation theories. So there are several psychological experiments and factors that have resulted out by studying this factor called as motivation. What they have tried to do is that they have tried to come across various theories, formulas, methodologies through which you can implement it and try to see your organization is able to propel to the next level as far as possible. Followed by these motivation theories provide a great understanding on how the people behave and how we can go ahead and motivate them. So what is that factor that's really motivating them? For many organizations, they think that financial rewards, monetary gains will motivate people. For certain people, there are non-monetary factors like giving them holidays, giving them vacations, providing them more family time will motivate them. So there are several factors that are coming into picture which will actually stand to motivate an employee. But what are these factors? What are the actualities? How to understand the need factor altogether? For that level, for that understanding altogether, we start getting into studying the theories of motivation. Now, going further, motivation is a huge field of study. There have been many theories on motivations. There are several speakers, there are several psychologists, several people who have done research and experiment, written papers, written articles, and even gone on the media in order to explain it. But then the most interesting and the fundamental factor in the theory of motivation is none other than the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That is the fundamental aspect that we have to understand. Abraham Maslow postulated that a person will be motivated only when his needs are fulfilled. What a thought that we need to appreciate. Unless and until the needs of an individual are accomplished, are being done, then only that person gets motivated, or else definitely not. Why? Because even when we go by economics, we understand that food, shelter, clothing are the basic needs of the human being. If that food, shelter, clothing is not being taken care, whatever might be the level of work, whatever might be the nature of environment, whatever might be his surroundings, but will he be able to achieve it? Will he be able to be happy? Definitely not. During the time of the pandemic, please understand, it went back, it circled back to the same factor called as the need factor. Many people were deprived of food. Many people were deprived of a house. Many people did not even have proper clothing. They could not buy. So that's where the need theory is circling back into our picture. Until and unless the need theory is completely understood, it is fulfilled for a man, he will not get motivated to move on to the next step as far as possible. So the need starts from the lowest basic level needs and keeps on moving up as the lower level need is fulfilled. Below is the hierarchy of needs. We are going to see the hierarchy of needs in the coming slide. Now, the first one, which I would like to start with, is the physiological factor, which means food, water, and shelter. So I'm going with the food, clothing, and shelter factor altogether. Everybody needs food for survival, everybody needs a house to stay, and everybody needs some clothes to cover their body. Without those factors being covered, without those factors being understood, nobody will feel motivated to live on this earth. So Maslow rightly pointed out on this factor, the basic needs. Are you still happy about what you are doing? Are you still happy about what you are able to be achieved? Are you fulfilled your needs altogether? If the answer is yes, then you have been able to achieve the first level. The next thing, safety, protection from threats, deprivation, or from dangers. Assume that you have been able to secure your family and yourself food, shelter, and clothing. What's the next level? Are you in a stage to protect your family and yourself from the imminent dangers that's coming across? If you are able to protect yourself, you have understood the safety needs. Safety is such an important factor for every human being on this earth. Why? Because he feels that unless and until he is secured from the physical as well as the mental dangers that are going to affect him and his family, until and unless he has got a clear-cut protection, he will not be able to think further. He will feel that he is still under the world of threat. So he needs to have a safety, he needs to have a situation, he needs to have a system that is able to protect him, that's able to guide him in future. That's why we still believe that we have to go and secure ourselves with an insurance cover. That's why we believe on a very, very clear factor that every time we need some sort of cover up, we need to some sort of a backing altogether, followed by the social factor, belongingness and love. Now, the need for association, affiliation, friendship, and so many other factors. Man can never live like an island, an isolated factor. He is a collection of emotions. His emotions need to be recognized. He needs to be affiliated to a part of a society. That might be any part. He might belong to the northern or the southern, the eastern or the western part. He might belong to any race, religion, creed, caste. But he needs to have an affiliation. He cannot go out and stand without an identity. He wants people to recognize him. He wants the society to identify him. He wants the society to embrace him as what he is. So he wants an acceptance in the society. He wants an association in the society. And that's very, very important. So that's why Maslow had predicted the social factor. Are you socially a part of a system? Are you being accepted as a part of a system? Many a times when we read in the newspaper that a particular section has been affected, that a particular creed, caste, community has been attacked, a particular section has been isolated, has been deprived of the basic rights, we are coming back to this factor again. That is a point where we need to think, why is that human beings are not able to accept their own counterparts? What is that that's preventing them to accept them as what they are? These questions are being asked by Maslow altogether. So that's why we say the third level of motivation is the social factor. If you are socially accepted, your association, your affiliation, your friendship, your people, your neighbors are able to understand you, accept you, be with you during the time of difficulty, then automatically you have climbed up the third level in the ladder. Moving further, the fourth level, self-esteem, the need for respect and recognition. That's a very, very important thing that we have to understand in life. Whatever we do, we want respect, we want recognition. We want people to identify us by our skills, by our talent, the nature of work, and give respect for what we have done. You work for 8 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, or even 1 hour. But then at the end of the day, somebody should come and recognize you by stating the fact, yes, he has done the job. Yes, he is very good at his job. He is a credible person. That self-esteem factor still runs in our blood. That's a very, very important factor. We cannot live in this world without recognition. Moment India was able to clinch a silver in the current Olympics, in the Tokyo Olympics. The recognition factor that went to that athlete, to that sportswoman, was something fabulous, was something great. That recognition to that sport and to the person who has put in the effort is definitely incredible. Why? Because we want that to happen. We want recognition at each and every stage, at each and every level as far as possible, because that helps you to build your self-esteem. That helps you to understand that yes, you are a part of the society where you have been recognized for a particular set of activity, followed by self-actualization. The question that was asked by Lord Buddha himself, who am I? That's the exact question I'm coming into. The last stage of the ladder is self-actualization. Who am I exactly? Look into yourself. Try to understand who you are. Try to identify self. You don't need to have identification from society. You don't want an affinity from any club, any membership, any organization. You don't want to have fancy titles behind your name. You don't want to have big degrees or any qualifications running behind your name in lines. But what you want at the end of the day is to understand yourself, who you are exactly, and what do you belong to this society altogether. So that's where it comes. Self-actualization is the highest need factor altogether. So if you have understood this, if you have come up to this level, then automatically you are a motivated individual. Followed by, let's look into this factor, because it says, when you are in the self-actualization, you will be a human being what you can aspire. So starting with the physiological needs, it moves on to safety and security, belongingness and love. From there, you move to the self-esteem factor. From there, you move to self-actualization factor. This is the highest level that a human being can achieve. Most of us still are in this first three level. We are still struggling with the basic factors, the safety factors, the belongingness. Once we have claimed and then we have gone to this level of self-actualization, that's where we become a truly motivated individual. Moving further, the leader will also have to understand the specific need of every individual in the team and work accordingly to fulfill their needs. The aim of a leader is not just to go and give work and get the work done. The aim of the leader is to inspire each and every member in his team so that they are able to perform better, so that they are able to come forward, understand, analyze their own skill set and do things at a better pace altogether. So that's why I would say that leadership is all about motivation. Leadership is not about just doing the work. Leadership is not about getting rewards. Leadership is not about recognition. It's all about motivation. If you motivate your employee in the right direction, then automatically he will be able to get the work done in the best manner possible. So that's why motivation is one of the most important aspect of a leader, which he has to see in each and every employee. With this, I come to the end of this particular session. I hope and believe that all the information that is being shared through this particular presentation will be of a great help and resource to you. In the upcoming sessions, we shall learn more about the motivation theories. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me on this wonderful session today.